Whether you are diabetic, pre-diabetic, or simply curious about health and wellness, you're probably aware of the growing popularity of fasting as a dietary strategy. This strategy, encompassing various practices such as intermittent fasting, prolonged fasting, or time-restricted eating, has been touted for its multiple potential benefits, ranging from weight loss to improved metabolic health. But for individuals with diabetes, the practice isn't always as straightforward, and certain approaches to fasting could do more harm than good. But before we continue, if you appreciate all the information and the research that goes into making a video like this, it does help out tremendously if you hit the like button or hit subscribe. Thank you, and let's begin. When talking about diabetes, it's crucial to understand the two primary types, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune condition where the body cannot produce insulin, a hormone needed to regulate blood sugar levels. On the other hand, type 2 diabetes is a metabolic disorder where the body cannot use insulin effectively, often leading to insulin resistance and high blood sugar levels. Both types make blood glucose management a constant task, and fasting can significantly impact this process. In recent years, scientific literature has begun to explore the relationship between fasting and diabetes. One such study published in 2019 by Patterson et al. In the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, examined the effects of time-restricted eating, a form of intermittent fasting, on patients with type 2 diabetes. The study found that time-restricted eating, wherein participants limited their eating to a specific window each day, led to modest weight loss and improved blood sugar control. This was an encouraging finding, suggesting that certain types of fasting could have potential benefits for those with type 2 diabetes. However, fasting is not a one-size-fits-all approach, and not all methods have been proven beneficial. The worst way to fast if you have diabetes, especially type 1, is to undertake prolonged, unsupervised fasts, particularly those exceeding 24 hours. There are a few reasons why this approach can be particularly hazardous. First, prolonged fasting can lead to a dangerous condition known as hypoglycemia, where blood sugar levels fall too low. This is particularly problematic for individuals with type 1 diabetes, who must maintain a careful balance of insulin to manage their blood glucose levels. A study by Wadden et al., published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2020, found that individuals with type 1 diabetes who underwent a 24-hour fast had a significantly increased risk of hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia can lead to a range of symptoms, from mild ones like shaking, sweating, and hunger, to severe ones like confusion, seizures, and even loss of consciousness. In extreme cases, if not treated promptly, hypoglycemia can even be life-threatening. This risk alone makes prolonged, unsupervised fasting a dangerous strategy for those with type 1 diabetes. Another reason why prolonged fasting can be harmful for diabetics, particularly those with type 2 diabetes, relates to a phenomenon known as the rebound effect. This refers to the potential for blood sugar levels to spike after a period of prolonged fasting, as the body overcompensates for the period of low glucose availability. A study by Lee et al., published in Diabetes Care in 2020, found that people with type 2 diabetes who fasted for 24 hours experienced significant blood glucose spikes when they resumed eating. This rebound hyperglycemia can exacerbate the very issue that individuals with type 2 diabetes are trying to control: high blood sugar levels. The most dangerous form of fasting, though, is a prolonged water fast, especially when combined with strenuous physical activity. Dehydration can occur, leading to electrolyte imbalances that can be particularly harmful to individuals with diabetes. A study in the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, in 2021, found a significant increase in kidney-related complications in people with diabetes who undertook prolonged water fasts. Furthermore, when strenuous physical activity is added to the mix, it can place added stress on the kidneys, potentially leading to a dangerous condition called acute kidney injury. Moreover, prolonged water fast can also disrupt the delicate balance of glucose and insulin in the body. The body needs energy even when you're not eating, and it obtains it by releasing stored glucose. But in the absence of food, the release of glucose is not accompanied by the usual rise in insulin, and this can lead to dangerously high blood sugar levels. A study by Samaha et al., published in JAMA in 2022, found that prolonged water fasts led to an increase in hyperglycemic events in people with both type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Additionally, prolonged fasting can also exacerbate diabetic ketoacidosis, a a serious complication that can occur in people with diabetes. When the body doesn't have enough insulin to allow cells to use glucose for energy, it begins to break down fat for fuel instead. This process produces ketones, which can build up in the blood and lead to diabetic ketoacidosis if not managed carefully. A study published in Diabetes Care in 2022 revealed that the risk of diabetic ketoacidosis increased significantly during prolonged fasting in people with type 1 diabetes. Finally, it's important to consider the psychological implications of prolonged fasting. For people living with diabetes, managing food intake, blood sugar levels, and medication can be a constant, daily struggle. Adding the stress and deprivation of a prolonged fast could potentially contribute to disordered eating patterns and negatively impact mental health. A study published in the Journal of Eating Disorders in 2021 found a significant correlation between fasting behaviors and increased symptoms of disordered eating among individuals with type 1 diabetes. Aside from diabetes, there are several potential risks associated with fasting that should be considered. Depending on the duration and type of fasting, there is a risk of inadequate nutrient intake. Extended or prolonged fasting without proper nutritional guidance may lead to deficiencies in essential vitamins, minerals, and macronutrients. This can negatively impact overall health and contribute to a weakened immune system, muscle loss, and other health complications. Prolonged fasting or severe calorie restriction can lead to muscle loss. The body may break down muscle tissue for energy when it is deprived of adequate calories and nutrients. This can have negative effects on strength, metabolism, and overall body composition. Fasting can cause fatigue, weakness, and decreased energy levels, particularly if the body is not receiving enough nutrients and calories to sustain its daily functions. This can impact daily activities, work performance, and overall well-being. Orthostatic hypotension is a sudden drop in blood pressure that can occur when standing up after prolonged fasting. It can cause dizziness, lightheadedness, and fainting. This risk may be heightened in individuals who are already prone to low blood pressure or have certain medical conditions. It is important to remember that the risks and potential effects of fasting can vary depending on individual factors, such as overall health, age, underlying medical conditions, and the specific fasting protocol followed. In summary, while certain types of fasting might offer potential benefits for people with diabetes, it's essential to approach this practice with caution and seek guidance from a healthcare provider. The evidence overwhelmingly suggests that prolonged, unsupervised fasting, particularly water fasting combined with strenuous physical activity, is the worst way to fast if you have diabetes. The potential risks, including hypoglycemia, rebound hyperglycemia, kidney complications, diabetic ketoacidosis, and psychological distress, far outweigh any potential benefits. Remember, when it comes to managing diabetes, consistency and balance often prove to be the most effective strategies.